Welcome to the UCSB Health and Wellness Podcast. This podcast is by students for students to offer bi-weekly advice from a broad range of topics. My name is Emily Sweet, and I am a content creator and media generalist intern for the Health Communications team, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
And my name is Jolie Mason. I am also a content creator and media generalist for the Health Communications team, and my pronouns are she, her, hers.
And my name is Jason Stone, pronouns they, she, and he. I'm the Health Communications and Media Campaigns Manager at UC Santa Barbara. For today's episode, we are joined by Azucena Sarabia and Wendy Wong with the UCSB Thrive team at Basic Needs to talk about the CalFresh program. Welcome, Azucena and Wendy. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having us today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here.
Me too. It's a nice day, so productivity.
So to start things off, can you explain what the CalFresh program is?
Yes. Okay, so the CalFresh program, also known as SNAP, is a federally funded nutritional assistance program that is sponsored by the USDA that helps people purchase groceries. And the CalFresh program issues monthly electronic benefits onto an EBT card. It's kind of like a debit card, and it can be used at most of the grocery stores and farmers markets as well. And those who are eligible can receive up to $291 a month as a one-person household for groceries. And it is more if it's a bigger household.
That's really interesting. So who are the benefits for, and can anyone apply?
That's a great question. Okay, so a variety of populations are eligible for CalFresh benefits, such as college students, families, seniors, and houseless individuals, farm workers, and more. As long as you meet the requirements and the CalFresh application is approved, undergrad students, grad students, student parents, non-traditional students, and transfer students can apply for CalFresh, and they receive a plastic EBT card, and it's reloaded each month.
That's so awesome. Okay, so then what does the process look like for applying for CalFresh?
So CalFresh applications can be submitted online through the Get CalFresh website. It's linked on our website, and then Benefits Cal website. So applications are also available in paper format and can be submitted over the phone. And then applications can take anywhere between 45 minutes to 60 minutes to complete. It all depends on what documents are needed, what documents the student already has. So times vary. The application consists of questions regarding gender, race, ethnicity, the number of people in your household, income, household expenses such as rent, utilities, and more. For some, the application can be easy, and for others, it can be a bit more complicated and confusing. It really depends on the situation and what they have going on. So we definitely highly recommend speaking with a CalFresh advocate like myself at the Food Security and Basic Needs Advising Center. And we make the application process easier. We guide you through the whole thing and even afterward.
So you mentioned how it kind of varies, depending on the situation when you hear back. Is there like an estimated time, like average wait time that students are expected to hear back from their county and receive benefits?
Yes. Okay. So the timelines do differ depending on how well the application was submitted. Like if everything was submitted, such as like the documents, their ID, it's a lot of documents. And then some students do get their interview waived, and that speeds up the process a little bit. But it can also depend on who your caseworker is. But typically it could take two weeks to hear from a caseworker. And then once someone submits a CalFresh application, it's screened by eligibility workers for the county. It's screened whether or not to see if they are eligible for expedited service. And then students who qualify for expedited service or have less than $150 in gross monthly income and have less than $100 or less in liquid resources. So if a student is approved for expedited services, they are able to receive their EBT card in 3 to 7 business days, since expedited services are considered to be emergency benefits. But if a CalFresh application does not meet those expedited requirements, the student's interview could either be waived and then they get a card in the mail, or you have to complete the interview. And then after the interview, depending on whether or not the caseworker asks for any other documentation, then it takes like another 1 to 2 weeks to receive the card. But overall, a person who, when they submit an application, have 30 days to complete the application process. Delays can occur, which can make the 30-day process extend even further. So yeah, it's not always 30 days.
So Azucena, if a student applies for CalFresh on their own and don't hear back, what should they do?
We see this a lot actually when we have students come into our office. So whether a student applies on their own or with the help of a CalFresh advocate and does not hear from the county about their application, they should always check the status of their application. So most of the time, we do recommend students to call the county because that is going to be the best way to actively be talking to someone to check the status of your application. Benefits Cal, which is a new program that launched last year, is another great tool for students to check the status of the application. And they can even send a message to their caseworker on the website, request an interview appointment if they missed the original appointment, and then they can also request a new EBT card through that website if it was damaged or lost. They can also even check their county notices, so all the mail that gets sent to them, it's in PDF form on that website. And
Okay.
there's so many other things they can do on that website. So we do recommend students to visit our office in the USEN to meet with the CalFresh advocate to see what's the best way to contact the county to get the status of their application, because there's multiple ways.
And just for clarification, the website you were talking about, it's called Benefits Cal, like CAL, like California.
Benefits.
Okay, awesome.
I'm curious about some of the requirements for students. So I have a campus job, but I don't have work study. Would that affect my eligibility for CalFresh?
It's a great question. Every situation is different, but as college students, we do need to claim at least one student requirement, which is also a student exemption. So in order to be eligible to apply for CalFresh, having an on-campus job meets the participating in a student employment training program requirement on the CalFresh application. So you would choose that option and specify you're employed through the UC Santa Barbara campus on the application. So as long as you meet one student exemption, which one of them being is employed on campus, you would be eligible for CalFresh if you meet the other requirements.
All right, so for this segment, we'll be reading students' submissions that were asked about the CalFresh program. So the first question that was asked are, if students are their parents' dependents, can they still get CalFresh?
We get this question often too. So most students are eligible for CalFresh even if they are claimed as a dependent. On the application, they don't ask for parent income unless you're living with them. That's a different situation. But as long as you are a college student living away from your parents, you can still apply for CalFresh. And going home during summer, winter, and spring breaks do not affect a student's benefits. And CalFresh benefits also don't need to be recorded on your taxes. That's also another question we get, like they need to report.
That's awesome. I also got a question from a student that asked if there are any income limits to qualify as a student.
Yes. So whether you're a college student or not, the income limits are the same. Most college students apply as a one-person household. So this year they would need to be within that one-person household income threshold, which is $2,430 in gross monthly income.
To add on to that, those monthly incomes are at a federal level, and then they always change every October. So like their new year starts in October. So this past October, this income changed to that number, and it was lower 2 years ago now.
So a student asked, are out-of-state students eligible for CalFresh?
So yes, out-of-state students can apply for CalFresh as long as they meet the rest of the requirements.
So the next question that we got is, can undocumented students apply for CalFresh?
So most undocumented students do not qualify for CalFresh. However, if you are an undocumented student and have an approved status like a permanent residence card, also known as a green card, a U visa, have asylum or refugee status, you can be eligible for CalFresh. There is a much longer list of approved statuses, so we do recommend meeting with a CalFresh advocate to go through that list.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the next question that we got is, are there options for discounted/free groceries for students that may not qualify for CalFresh?
Yes, there are options for students that do not qualify for CalFresh. They can receive free groceries from the Associated Students Food Bank on campus located at the USEN facing the lagoon. The Food Bank of the Santa Barbara County also has food distributions in Goleta and Santa Barbara areas that anyone can go to and receive free groceries.
I love the food bank on campus. I've gotten so many good products from there. It's always such a good go-to. So the next question that we got from a student is, can you still keep CalFresh after graduation?
Yes, that's a great question. Okay, so if you continue to be eligible for CalFresh after graduation, yes, you can keep your CalFresh benefits. Most recent grads keep their CalFresh until they get a job after graduation because they begin to earn over the income threshold. But as long as
Mhm.
you are within the income limits, you can still receive CalFresh benefits. And another thing to point out after graduation is to update your mailing address to make sure you don't miss any reports you have to submit. That's a big thing too that people forget to do.
That's a really good tip. Yeah. So, our final question from our student submission segment is, are you able to use CalFresh at places other than grocery stores, like, say, restaurants?
Yes, so you can use CalFresh benefits in some farmers markets in Goleta and Santa Barbara. All farmers markets do accept EBT here. Unfortunately, in Santa Barbara County, EBT is not accepted at restaurants, but there are other counties that do accept EBT at fast food restaurants like Jack in the Box, McDonald's, Wendy's, etc. But we just don't have a lot of approved restaurants where we are.
Got it. That's still good to know. So that wraps up our student submission segment. Thank you to everyone who asked a question.
So, Wendy, you work for the Basic Needs Program. For those who may not know, how does UC Santa Barbara help students get access to CalFresh?
So we have wonderful CalFresh advocates like Asusana, who are highly trained on CalFresh policies and procedures that can help students apply for CalFresh. The CalFresh advocates, they follow up with you, they assist you on your applications, and they do so all year round. So that is amazing. CalFresh advocates can also help reschedule missed interviews, assist with your STAR 7 or recertification. The STAR 7 is just the semi-annual report that you have to do after your application that you initially send in. And they assist you with contacting the county. They're kind of like that middleman. So you could get more information on your benefits that way and your application status.
Yeah, so to add on to that, advocates also check in with you to see if you have gotten your phone interview. I usually send follow-up emails to all the students I help apply to make sure that they got their phone interview. And if they don't, like, I tell them to come in and we can figure out how to contact their caseworker. And if you need to submit additional documents, that's also another thing that happens when after the phone interview, the caseworker requests something specific and they don't know where to find it. We can help them with that. And that's why it's always beneficial to apply with an advocate.
That's such a great service.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm curious, what resources are available to undocumented students and others who don't qualify for CalFresh so that they can get discounted or free groceries?
So yes, undocumented students can apply each quarter to the Undocumented Student Services Grocery Voucher Program, and they can receive up to 2 grocery vouchers of $50 on each card to the stores of their preference, depending on what is in stock. So we have cards for like Trader Joe's, Smart and Final, Albertsons, the Ivy Food Co-op. Any registered UCSB student can go to the AS Food Bank as well on campus and take groceries home for free. Anyone is welcome to go to the Food Bank of Santa Barbara, county food distributions. We have some off campus. Anyone can shop at the Ivy Food Co-op. The Ivy Food Co-op has sales every month on refrigerated, frozen, shelf staple products. They also have a co-op's basics program that offers high quality products at a low price, which can include produce, dairy, meat, bulk, grocery, and wellness products. Visit the Basic Needs Peer Advisors at our office, the Food Security and Basic Needs Advising Center, to learn more and learn about other food resources on and off campus.
Do you have any advice on how students should budget their money?
Yeah, so something that I do is to give yourself a set amount that you're allowed to spend weekly and stick to that. Even doing like a spreadsheet, I've also done something like that to just manage where I'm spending my money, where I need to stop spending my money. I would also say to take advantage of the resources that we already have on campus, such as the food banks, because just getting groceries from there or toiletries, they have fruit, veggies, and toiletries there. That's a way that you can save money too, or have more in your budget.
That's great.
Yeah, just like adding on to that, like my own little tip that I do when I go to the grocery store, I like to Trader Joe's, is I'll take my Trader Joe's tote bag and I'm like, okay, I can't get anything if it doesn't like fit in the bag. So if anything doesn't fit in the bag, that's how you know I've reached my like max capacity for my grocery trip.
That's a great one. I'll have to try that.
Another thing I even do is I shop at Ralph's a lot and I use their coupons. So I like couponing a lot, and that helps
Oh,
me budget my money too.
I once saved 50% on a Ralph's visit just using their coupons.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So we need to get on our couponing game, is what it sounds like.
It's really fun.
Oh, I also have something to add. Things that are in season, like fruits, produce, vegetables, are usually cheaper when they're in season because there's an abundance. So that is also like a tip. Buy things that are in season, like work your diet for like foods that's like cheaper right now. And that's how you can stretch your dollar. And I hope that's helpful.
That's a
That's
great
great.
tip. So I am curious to know, are there any misconceptions about CalFresh that we haven't talked about that you would want more people to learn the truth about?
Yes, this is a big one too. You don't have to be necessarily working to be eligible for CalFresh, and lots of students believe they do. You don't necessarily need to be receiving financial aid either to apply. Another misconception is that you don't need your parents' income, which we talked a little about earlier, to apply. So that's not true either. And then the questions on the application are solely about you and the situation that you're in.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Azucena and Wendy, thank you for joining us today and sharing your wisdom and experiences. We are so grateful that you joined us for today's episode, and we hope that you'll come back again soon. And for those who may have more questions about CalFresh or anything related to basic needs, what is the best way to find more information?
Yeah, so a great way to find more information about us is through our website. If you visit us at basicneeds.ucsb.edu, you can follow us on our Instagram, UCSB Thrive, and then definitely always keep an eye on your email. We send out newsletters as well.
Awesome. Make sure to follow them, and don't forget to check out the Department of Health and Wellness's website at wellness.ucsb.edu and the Student Wellbeing website at wellbeing.ucsb.edu, which serves as the campus hub for all departments and services that support student well-being on campus. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, and in the meantime, may you be well.